John, you said a couple of times this week about don't get carried away with how things are going. Was this, do you think, an example of that today where, you know, there's going to be issues?
The issue that this team, and it's just going to take time, and then I got to demand it. If you demand a lot, you'll get a lot. If you accept mediocrity, you're going to get it every single time, especially with young kids. Playing winning basketball, there's stretches that we don't play winning basketball. I'm just going to make whatever play I want to make. And we broke off plays at the end, and guys just, why did you do that? Well, I was thinking of the tree, and then the bike came out, and the car almost hit me. What? I mean, why did you do that? And so we had a bunch of those today, but let me give Harvard credit. I mean, they shot the ball. Tom did a great job of putting his people in positions. It was another good game for us to play where a team's not going to just give us a win. This team needs that. Again, we got some guys that should be better defenders that are just getting beat. And again, look, we hold them to 37%, but we don't out-rebound them the way we should. You know, and I'll have to go look at it and see what it is, but, you know, we make our free throws. You know, there was some good stuff, but, you know, I'm expecting more. And the biggest thing is, like I told them, you will not be in the game, and if we have to lose games because you're going to sit out, that's just how it is. Because we are going to play, when you get up 18, you're not just doing like, okay, I'm breaking off now, I'm doing my own thing. That's freshman.
Cows, what you saw from Sasha and Nick today, is that a winning formula?
Sasha got exhausted. Sasha almost passed out in the hallway at halftime when he came off the court. I didn't know who was behind me. I thought someone was going to get an ambulance. Again, like, okay, you got minutes now. You got to be able to, you don't just stay out there and get exhausted. But again, they're doing better. Nick's doing better. You know, PJ got in foul trouble, and I told him at the half, I said, when a guy gets 2 fouls, I'm not losing the game in the first half if we're okay without you. I'm not going to do that. I never have. So I left guys out that had 2 fouls, which is what I'm going to do in league play. So we got to get used to it, and I got to get used to how we're going to play when certain guys are out.
John, have you ever had a team you can recall that may benefit more from the Camp Cows semester break that's coming up soon?
Well, it all depends. I mean, they'll benefit if they're choosing to benefit and really focus on what this team needs them to do. Like, there are certain guys that are playing a certain way, they can't have success, they're going to turn it over, they can't make plays, and you know, you have baskets you can make. There on every team there are play starters, there are playmakers, and there are finishers. The issue you have when your finishers try to be playmakers, it leads to turnovers. So we got that right now. You're a finisher, score the ball, shoot the ball. Well, I'm not sure I'll make it. Then get in the gym at night and shoot more. But you're a finisher, you're not a play starter. So we got some of that rolling right now. But, you know, this team should be a great defensive team. This team should be a great rebounding team, and we're not right now. This team should be a team that can beat you different ways, scoring, shooting. You know, I mean, we missed a bunch of threes. I wanted Quad A to take them, but I could tell he didn't feel like he had it. So he passed up probably 3 or 4 threes that I wanted him to take. I'm telling him on the side, shoot it. He didn't want to shoot it. And then when he did shoot, he missed. So he knew before I knew. That's why I wasn't shooting. But we just have to have guys that are willing to take the shots. We got enough guys that can make them. I like that Kevin was driving the ball and doing some good stuff that way. But, you know, we got a ways to go.
John, you said this team needs a game like this, games like this, where the other team competes. What do you hope they can get out of it, the big lessons?
Well, you got to be reflective on this, self-reflective. You got to look at what you're being asked to do, and are you really listening or you're not listening? And if you're arguing a point, this is going to be a long time before it changes. If you understand that, all right, I got to change and I got to get this right, the stuff we'll do over break will really help, because guys will focus on the areas they need to focus on. If you're delusional, and you're good, I'm good, well, you're really going to change? How are you going to change? You can't accept you need to change. So I've told them over and over, and I'll say it again, I'm asking the impossible of this team. But that's what I do for a living. And I'm asking individuals to do stuff that's probably impossible for them to do right now. But I'm asking them to try and strive and do it. There are guys that'll break through, and there are other guys that'll look for alibis or whatever this team is a bunch of good guys. They're really trying to please me. They just don't know yet. And they shouldn't. I'm playing all freshmen. They shouldn't. But I'm expecting them to make strides, especially when we get up a bunch, that we don't revert. We play the game as though it's a 4-point game, because we're going to have a bunch of those. We got this weekend on the road, and then we got 4 games, bam, bam, bam. Just believe me, you could go 0-4 in that stretch of games. Easy.
Cal, during that second half, when you guys pushed out and been kind of struggling offensively, but that happened because of your defense.
Right.
You feel that identity could be emerging here, that, hey, we could be a great defense.
Well, then we get up, and then you have 2 or 3 guys that back up and stand up and lose their man, and we break off. But again, it's what freshmen do. All right, I did it, now I'm tired, now I'm going to take a few plays off. You can't do that here. You don't take plays off, you sub yourself. You're jogging the floor, come out. Don't make me have to sub yourself. We're not subbing for missed shots or turnovers. If I did that, folks, we'd have a lot of subs. But I will sub for energy. You're not talking, you're not helping your teammate, you don't dive on the floor, you don't come up with a tough rebound, I'll take you out. It's all energy and effort. That should be expected of everybody. And they know they have the ability to sub themselves out. And then if they do, they tell me I'm ready to go. And they go back in. Basically, they're subbing themselves in and out. Unless you never in your life will sub yourself. And I got a couple of those. I am staying in the game.
John, any thoughts on the passing of Perry Wallace, who broke the color barrier in SEC?
Well, it's a sad day, and I always say, whether it's CM Newton or others, the courage that they had, and I always wonder, if I were put in that situation, would I have the courage to do the right thing? And a lot of times, the right thing is not popular. And I would hope that I would go against the grain, which I've tried to do most of my career, but I don't know. I mean, would I have the courage enough to say, I'm doing right even though it's going to hurt my career, or I'm doing right even though this is going to be the most uncomfortable thing that I could do, but I know it's right, and I'm going to do right. I don't know if I were put in that situation. I know this, when CM Newton was put in that situation, you know what he did. When they had players come in the SEC or Kentucky or other places, they had to have courage now. And they had to know, I don't know at the time if they thought what they were doing was groundbreaking, but it was.
John, what happened on the tech on Nick in the first half? And
He
the
said
tech-
something. He came over and apologized. I said, what are you doing? Well, why would you do that? And hey, Coach, come on, I'm a freshman. I do stuff like that. You're right. And there was a lot of freshman stuff out there today.
And was the second tech on you? What happened there?
Just what I demand of officials is just be consistent. If you're going to call one here, then call one there, I'm fine. But that's my whole thing, and I've always been that way. They say, well, you get on, if he's not consistent, I'm going to let him know. So, but the officials had nothing to do with this, and
Anything else?
Yeah, we saw a little bit of Sasha and Nick together in the first half. Is that a learning as well, or is that just foul?
well, Sasha's been playing a lot of that in practice. As a matter of fact, he's playing a lot more of that than he's playing in Nick's space. So, but it's yeah, we can do it. We could be really big then. Now all of a sudden you're like, holy cow, we big. But like I said, we got a lot of work to do in what we're trying to do, and they're gonna be off tomorrow, and then we're gonna have 2 or 3 good days, and maybe give them an individual work day, and then get ready for the trip this weekend, and then come back and probably give them off Sunday next week, and then we got a bunch of days to get ready for another really hard game. And then we have another off day, and we've got time. But it's got to be a team full of guys saying, tell us what we have to do to win. What's winning look like? And I told them after the game, I've done this 30 years. I'm not saying I'm a genius. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying that I can even do this, but I do know what winning looks like. And it doesn't look like what we're doing right now. And if you want to argue with me, I can't get us to where we need to go. And they're good. Look, I'm maybe sounding frustrated, but when you think about what I'm asking these kids to do, they should not be able to do this. They're all freshmen. They're all freshmen. We're in the top 10 defensive efficiency in the country, and I'm not pleased. What? Because I think we could even be better. I'm not pleased with our rebounding. We're a pretty good rebounding team. Well, why don't we try to be the best? You can't be the best with all freshmen. Cool out, man. You're old right now. Just relax. You're getting angry and nasty. You're too old to be doing this anymore. Some of you are too old to be doing what you're doing, so don't smile at me.
Oh, look at me.
Win it there.